Aamir was born in a small town in Pakistan. His father worked as a clerk in a government office, earning just enough to put food on the table. His mother was a housewife who dreamed of giving her children a better future. Aamir had two younger sisters who adored him. From the beginning, he was an average student. Teachers would often say, "He tries, but he is slow." Some even said, maybe studies are not for him. But deep inside, Aamir had a dream. He wanted to change his family's fate. He wanted to lift them out of poverty and earn respect in society. He believed that education was the only way to do that. Still, dreaming is easy. The real challenge is to work for it. In school, Aamir was often laughed at. He wasn't the brightest in the class. While some students solved math problems within seconds, Aamir would sit there confused, his pen frozen in his hand. Many times he failed in tests. His friends mocked him, calling him slow brain. One day when he came home with another poor result, his father sighed heavily. "Aamir, maybe you should think about doing some small work. Studies are not everything." Those words pierced his heart. He wanted to cry, but instead, he made a silent promise to himself. "One day, I will prove everyone wrong. One day they will look at me with pride." Everything changed when Aamir met his teacher, Mr. Hamid. He was a kind man who believed that no child was truly weak. They only needed the right guidance. One day after class, he called Aamir and said, "Son, do not let others decide your future. The difference between success and failure is not intelligence. It's consistency. If you promise me you will work hard every single day, I promise you will shine." Those words lit a fire inside Aamir. He started waking up at 4 a.m. every day. While the town slept, he sat under the dim light of a lantern, struggling through books, repeating formulas, memorizing words, and practicing sums until they finally made sense. It wasn't easy. He would often feel sleepy in class. He sacrificed playing cricket with his friends. Many nights he cried out of frustration, wanting to quit. But then he remembered his promise, to himself and to Mr. Hamid. Of course, people didn't stop mocking him. At school, whenever he asked questions, some students would laugh and say, "Why bother? You'll never pass anyway." During family gatherings, relatives would whisper, "Look at him, still struggling in studies. Poor parents. Their son will never become anything." Each insult was like a wound. But instead of giving up, Aamir used it as fuel. He thought, "Every word they throw at me will become a step on the ladder I climb." After months of relentless effort, the day of the annual exam results arrived. Aamir was terrified. He sat on the bench, hands shaking, heart pounding like a drum. When the teacher handed out the report card, he closed his eyes, afraid to look. Finally, he opened it. His eyes widened in shock. He had passed, with good marks. Not just passing, but standing in the top 10 of his class. Tears rolled down his cheeks. For the first time, he felt what success tasted like. When he reached home and showed the report card to his parents, his father's eyes softened with pride, and his mother hugged him tightly, crying with joy. That day, Aamir realized a powerful truth. Success is addictive. Once you taste it, you want more. Years passed, and Aamir continued working hard. Now came the real test, the matric board exams. Everyone said this will decide his future. But life wasn't easy. His father fell ill, and the family's financial condition worsened. Some nights, Aamir studied with an empty stomach because there wasn't enough food at home. Many of his classmates went to expensive academies, but Aamir couldn't afford them. He relied only on library books, free notes, and the guidance of Mr. Hamid. There were moments of doubt. Sometimes he looked at the piles of books and thought, "I can't do this. It's too much." But then he remembered his mother's tired eyes and his father's weak smile. He knew quitting was not an option. So he kept going. He created a strict routine, study for 14 hours a day, revise, write, and practice. He cut off all distractions. No TV, no hanging out, no social media. He built his life only around one mission, to win. When the board exam results were announced, the entire town was talking. Aamir stood nervously outside the notice board. Hundreds of students were rushing to see their roll numbers. His heart was racing. Finally, he spotted his number, and then he froze. He had secured the second position in the entire district. For a moment, he couldn't believe it. Tears blurred his vision. The boy who was once called Slow Brain was now standing at the top. The same students who had laughed at him now looked at him with awe. His teachers hugged him, his parents cried with pride, and his relatives whispered in shock, This is unbelievable. But the journey didn't end there. Aamir got admission into one of the best colleges. Here, the competition was even tougher. Students from wealthy families had laptops, private tutors, and all resources, while Aamir still struggled with money. He often couldn't afford bus fare and walked long distances just to attend classes. There were days he thought about giving up. But then he reminded himself, I didn't come this far to stop now. He continued with the same discipline, waking up early, studying late, asking questions fearlessly, and never letting go of his dream. After years of hard work, sacrifice, and sleepless nights, Aamir finally achieved what once seemed impossible. He passed his exams with flying colors, earning a scholarship to a top university. Later, he became an engineer, securing a good job. One evening, as he sat with his family in their new home, his father looked at him with teary eyes and said, "Son, I once told you maybe studies were not for you. Today I see I was wrong. You taught me that nothing is impossible when you don't give up." Aamir smiled. His journey had not only changed his own life, but had inspired countless others around him. Aamir's story is not just about one boy. It's about every student who feels weak, every child who is mocked, every dreamer who is told, you can't do it. The truth is, you can. Success doesn't come from being born intelligent. It comes from hard work, discipline, and faith in yourself. When people laugh at you, don't quit. When you fail, don't stop. When the world says you can't, prove that you can. Because at the end of the day, education is not just about passing exams. It's about building a future, breaking chains of poverty, and showing the world that your dreams are stronger than your circumstances.